Alright guys, hey everybody, it's Peter Sinkevich, ilovestartup.com, coming back to you. This is my take two, actually. The first video I put up, we had some technical difficulties and for whatever reason the audio didn't record. But I am shooting from Connecticut, my hometown where I grew up. So that's the snowy background you see. And looks like we're going to be getting a few inches of snow today, so I figured I'd change up the environment for you guys. But a couple really good things that just happened to us recently. Update you, yesterday we finally found a social media rock star we were looking for, and she has her own business. Alex, shout out to Alex. She does a pretty amazing job. We're really happy to have found her. One of our team members introduced us, and she's officially on board. She's going to start helping us push that thing forward. So big moves on our part there. And then when I was doing the video yesterday, we were talking about fear of public speaking and all of that, but it really made me think back to something that everyone asks me all the time. And the thing people usually ask me about at Fuck Up Night specifically is, what's the process to recovering from failure? And that's a really interesting thing to me personally, because to me the answer to that is there is no process to the recovery of failure. What does that really mean, right? It doesn't mean that nobody knows what the process is or how to go through failure the best possible way. It's to say that it doesn't exist. There is no process to failure, because if you're looking at it as, oh, there's a process, what do I do? How do I overcome my mental state? I'm down on myself, I'm feeling pity, I'm like upset that I made all these mistakes. Your mindset is in the complete wrong place. Failure is not a negative, and it should never be viewed as a negative. I'm often heard saying, positive feedback, awesome. Negative feedback, also awesome. Indifference, that's what you got to worry about. If people don't give a shit enough to even respond, now you got to start worrying. Now you got to get concerned. Now you got to start digging really hard, because you've done something really bad at that point, or you're just doing something that nobody gives a shit about, and it's not important enough for them to even comment whether they care or not. So negativity, or in this case failure is like, how do I explain it? It's the shortcut to your test, right? It's the answers on the test. There's two ways of going about, figuring out solutions to your problems, right? It's either you can go through your own experiences and do the work and discover them on your own, or you can learn from somebody else, right? And learning from somebody else is taking their life lessons, the things that they've learned, or taking their feedback, which could be negative, right? But they're basically giving you the answers. They're telling you what's wrong so you can go fix it, rather than having to figure it out on your own. And so when you talk about failure and the recovery of failure, there is no recovery to failure. There just isn't. You should be looking at it as a positive opportunity to correct what you're doing. And there's a really good analogy for this, right? So the analogy is software, right? We all understand what software is. We use it on our devices, our computers, everything, right? We all understand that software comes in versions, right? Version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Well, we can apply this to startup, and we can apply this to ourselves personally. And when you're born, you're version 1, right? You go through your life, hopefully you iterate yourself as many times as possible. You're improving yourself as you grow older. You're learning from your experiences. You're finding out what works, what doesn't. The things that don't work or are not good, hopefully you're removing them from your person, your process, whatever, and that now constitutes another version, right? It's exactly what happens in software. It's exactly what you should be doing in startup. It's exactly what happens or you should be doing with yourself personally. You know, that's exactly what software engineers do. They create a version, they put it out to market. They don't just sit around after that. They look at it and they go, okay, what can we improve now? What can we fix now? What's broken that still needs to be addressed? And they go make some of those changes, and then they put out version 2. And then when version 2's out, they're working on version 3, etc. And so there is no recovery process to that for them. They just move on to the next thing. And you should be doing the same thing yourself with your startup, with yourself as a person, pretty much anything that you're working on. It's iterative. And you've maybe heard it said before, like the more you iterate your startup, the better off you are. And the reason is because failure is a de facto, can't get rid of it, part of the process, right? You don't get success without failure. It's just the way it is. And that software model is a perfect example of that, right? You need to go through those steps of failure in order to reach success. Success isn't a destination, it's a journey. And so success is, in my definition, identifying the problems and removing them from your process. That's being successful, right? Because you are improving along the process. Every iteration, you technically should be a little bit better or incrementally better than you were the last. That's being successful. And that's the takeaway here, right? In order to look at failure the correct way, you need to understand that there is nothing to recover yourself from. There just isn't. What you need to understand at the end of the day is that those are little things that you need to adjust, change, whatever about what it is you're doing, and then you're on to the next thing. Or you're on to, doing the better version of your thing, right? And that's what I really want to leave you with today. It's what I've learned in my life. That's what I've started to employ in my life. It's made me a much better person in the long run as a result. And you will be too. And I think that's probably the most valuable thing I could leave you with today, other than giving you a bit of picturesque, snowy country Connecticut. So with that, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow. Keep hustling. Peace, love, happiness. By the way, please like, subscribe, support this channel, support what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to help all you guys pass on some of the stuff I learned. Give us some comments. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. If you hate me, if you love me, whatever, if you want to see me do certain things or talk about certain things, put it down in the comments below and let me know. Thanks again.